Hello there, my Twitter and StockTwits folks. Frank Zorrilla, Zor Capital. The 7th of December at 7 o'clock. Let's go over my watch list, my rolling 5-day watch list, which over the last 2 weeks or so, it's been pretty weak, but over the last couple of days, it's showing some signs of life. And again, I'm a big believer that your rolling 5-day watch list, which all that means is very simply your watch list from 12-1, 12-4, 12-5, 12-6, those lists give you a lot more information than the indices can. Okay, and it tells you, number one, if things are working out. Number two, are stocks following through? Are they triggering? It tells you all you need to know. It also helps you whether or not you should be adding size, playing a little bit smaller, perhaps taking profits a little bit sooner. Okay, and like I said, the list, if you can see here, the percentage gain or loss ever since we were tracking these stocks. Some of these stocks just did not trigger, but some of them did. So let's go over them. STRL is something that we had on the list on 12-1, right over here. So the trigger price was going through 17.46. The next day had a really ugly candle, so that just came off the list. SPPI is something that actually did trigger right over here, and again, it went up a little bit, but then it had no follow through whatsoever. MTBC didn't trigger. This didn't trigger. STLD it's an interesting situation. Steel Dynamics is a stock that's been trading sideways for a year. And it's finally getting above this little box. Some people might call this a Darvis box, but it's a real simple box. It's getting above, trying to stay above. This is an interesting level right over here. If it breaks this level here, which is 35.80, then all bets are off. But this looks really good. FENG is something we had on the list today, but it was on the list before, but it did not trigger. It finally triggered today, going through this inside day of 633. Went as high as 652, but closed at 629. It still looks okay as long as it stays above 590. GCAP was a stock of the week just a couple of days ago. This is, a Bitcoin play, and I think the stock is going to do well. Grow, another Bitcoin play. INSM is another stock that triggered right over here and had a big sell-off. ZGNX is something we got involved here. All these yellow arrows, and then it just had a sell-off and sold off. SRAX is something we had on the list today, and it still looks good. I like SRAX. It's a Bitcoin play. For the most part, this is probably the second pullback to the 20-day moving average after a major run higher. The stock printed an inside day today. This is exactly what you want to see, because under this context, an inside day typically tells you that this previous little consolidation is probably over. I'm not sure that's the case, but I like the stock enough today to nibble, and I'm looking to buy more on strength. So here we started looking at stocks that were down multiple days in a row with an RSI level under 5, the RSI 2, which means 2 days under 5, and the list was coming up with these type of names, and it was interesting because we narrowed down the universe on this one particular list of the S&P 500 and the QQQs, so big cap liquid names, because again, if we were going to bounce, they're going to go to these names first. And so far, Micron is up about 8% since this day here. Nice follow through. Years ago, this would be a typical bear flag, but bear flags have not worked in a very long time. And the stock, it's already printing a little bit higher in the aftermarket. So I think this market right now, with so many stocks, liquid names being beaten down, I think running a scan, which is multiple down days in a row, that's 3 or more with an RSI level under 5, is going to give you some good candidates. AMAT, similar situation, up 5%. LRCX, again, very nice situation, up almost 5% as well. And when you come across a whole sector like this, we just spoke about 4 different semis, I think, you're better off if there's a triple. You're going to get a better bang for your buck by buying the actual triple. We got involved in this. Anytime any of these stocks were showing signs of life, all I did was purchase the SOXL. We got involved in 128.50, 127.70. And it's acting okay. Let's see if we can get it somewhere around here somewhere. Click, another semi, small cap, looking okay. This is an earnings beat. If you push the stock back a little bit, this is a little, nice consolidation here for a while. This should hold here for a while. This 23 level. I like the stock. We bought some more today. Google, again, this also wasn't down in that one scan, down multiple days in a row. RSI level 2 under 5. QQQ S&P 500 name, and it's at a nice, this is whatever it is, almost a 35-point move. SWKS, another semiconductor stock. Again, you're just better off going with the triple ETF because you can eliminate also single stock risk. QRVO, same thing. SOXL is the one. Here's another play that we got involved here. It was looking good and just sold off. Sold at a loss. And then here on 12.6, things are, getting a little bit more interesting. Why? Big Momo name, liquid name, sell off through the high, had a big day today. SSC is just a Bitcoin play. MRTX, here's another stock looking real good. We got involved here at 17.52. Stock goes up to 18.20. Looks good, and then it just sells off. But we had on the list today, and the trigger going through 16.05. This looks good. Here's another example. Stock is down 3 days in a row. Back here to prior resistance level that can turn into support. You get involved with the stock here at 16.25. If you want to play it tight, you put a stop loss at 15.30. You want to give it some room. You put a stop right underneath the 50-day moving average, and you could probably get 19 for it. ZTO, it's an interesting situation on a weekly basis. This is an IPO, sold off immediately. Little cup and handle, down, almost pretty much 4 weeks in a row. I like the stock a lot. This is one to watch. Feng, we spoke about this already. And then we also had on 12.6, these were the names down, on the scan, down multiple days in a row, RSI level. Under 5, and then this is another interesting situation. This is pretty much the first time the stock goes down to the 20-day moving average, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row. It was down here 7 days in a row. What I typically do in a situation like this is extremely hard just to go out there and try to pick a bottom. You want to see some sign of, a red to green situation. So typically what I do is I might nibble in a very small level, and then I'll put a buy stop order through the intraday high, and I'll try to add as quickly as possible. This one was a nice one. I still like the stock. We sold some off here, up, I think, 12.5%, and we missed 15% by a penny, which is too bad because we had an order to sell some more. LRCX, again, semiconductor. This is a dead cat bounce. Years ago, this would be considered a dead flag where you're going to want to short the stock right over here, close to the 50, but that hasn't worked in a long time. BABA, similar situation, big cap, name, momentum name, long, 171.12, down multiple days in a row. RSI 2 under 5, so far as acting well. And I think that this is all falling into the mix where December normally is typically a good month, but in the first 2 weeks, you get that 2% pullback, which we have not seen in the Dow or the S&P, but in individual names in certain sectors you have. So this might be that pullback, and then we're probably off to the races until year end. IIVI, similar to Click, nice little here, consolidation, cup, whatever you want to call it, and nice pullback. And we're long the stock here, and it looks okay. These all could be dead cat bounces, but that's fine. It is what it is. WB, another stock in that one scan, down multiple days in a row. RSI 2 under 5. showing some signs of life today. Yelp, nothing there. And then today's list, YY was the big winner. This was a tough one because this one gapped up right from the open. And unless you chased right at the open, it was gone. CDNA down 4 days in a row through the high today. This is a nice consolidation here that, 6 was a level of resistance. This here would be the first day of what I call a breakout. We might see 2 or 3 days of up action. TRCX, this looks real interesting. This did not trigger today. I had a buy stop at 235. I like this again, going through 230, buy stop at 235. This might have legs. WB we spoke about, MRTX we spoke about, Cray trading sideways for a long time. It's trying to get above this box here, down 4 or 5 days in a row through the high. This trigger today, you can put your stop right over here at 2120. SRAX we spoke about, part of the Bitcoin play, VHVN, whatever. Click we spoke about, Feng we spoke about, GLYC. This looks good. We bought this stock right over here, took it for 20%. It's been trading sideways since then, and it looks good. I got involved in a very small level, and the only reason why is because they're presenting tomorrow, Saturday at ASH, and who knows what might happen. But this is a real interesting chart, sideways for a very long time. Bigger the base, the higher into space it goes. Mark, just like ROKU. Here's the big momentum. Here's the first pullback to the 20-day moving average. Printed an inside day today, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. An inside day today. Look at the volume, people. 797,000 shares, which is the lowest in a long time. And this is exactly what you want to see under this context. You want to see that inside day that typically tells you this is the end of the consolidation, and you want to see that volume shrink tremendously, which it did today. I anticipated here, just bought a little bit, nibble, like it says here, down 4 days in a row at 745. Tomorrow, I like this stock going through 772, buy stop 782, stop at 690. Dix, again, this is a little try to form a base. Retail stocks have been doing well, according to the best option guy now out there, Wall Street Jesus. There's been some put selling, some call buying. This stock did not trigger today, but this looks interesting to me going through today's highs, which is 30.42, buy stop 30.52. So again, finally, the watch list for the last couple of days, they've been showing signs of life. Oh, we need some follow through here, and that's what we're looking for. So trade them well and be well.